The flight home was long, dusty, and quiet. I'd been gone for 2 weeks on a cattle deal in Montana, ready to get back to my peaceful Texas ranch. My wife had stayed with her sister, the ranch hands were off duty, and all I wanted was to pour a whiskey, sit on the porch, and listen to the crickets. But when I turned onto the long gravel road that led to my gate, I noticed something strange. The porch lights were off. The barn lights too. Even the security flood lamps that usually flicked on when I drove up were dark. Power outage? I muttered. Except my neighbor's lights were still glowing across the field. I parked the truck and walked up to the gate. That's when I saw it. The cable box by my fence had been cut clean open. Wires hung loose, snipped with a pair of bolt cutters still lying in the dirt. And there, right by my utility meter, stood Karen. Yep, HOA Karen. Clipboard in one hand, phone in the other, wearing her official badge that read, Neighborhood Compliance Volunteer. She was standing in the beam of my headlights, smiling like she'd just performed a community service. Evening, Karen, I said slowly. Mind telling me what you're doing on my property at? I checked my watch. 10:30 at night? She turned, startled but trying to stay smug. You're not supposed to be here. Excuse me? You were out of town, she said quickly. The HOA board voted to inspect your property for safety concerns. We noticed unauthorized electrical installations. So I shut off your power before something exploded. I took a deep breath. Karen, you cut live power lines. They were illegal lines, she snapped. And you can't threaten me. I'm the HOA electrical safety liaison. I rubbed my temples. Karen, this ranch isn't part of your HOA. It never was. It's 2 miles outside your boundary. She folded her arms. That's debatable. We're extending the community zone for neighborhood improvement. Before I could even respond, she held up her phone. If you threaten me, I'll call 911 right now. I laughed. Karen, I am calling 911 because you just vandalized my property and endangered a federal electrical line. She gasped. Federal? Yeah, I said. This ranch is part of an agricultural power sharing program. You didn't just cut my lights. You cut off the grid link to the county fire station's backup generator. Her face went pale. No, that's not possible. I pointed at the label on the broken meter box. Property of Texas Emergency Infrastructure Network. Possible, I said. And recorded. I held up my phone, still filming. That's when I heard sirens. 2 patrol cars and a utility service truck pulled up, lights flashing blue and red across the field. The deputies got out. Same guys who'd been to my place before, shaking their heads like, not this lady again. Evening, Judge, one of them said. What's going on this time? Karen jumped in before I could answer. He's trespassing on community power lines. He attacked me when I tried to disconnect them safely. The deputy blinked. Ma'am, are you saying you cut into a utility box? Karen hesitated. Well, yes, but only to prevent a fire hazard. The other deputy whistled low. Ma'am, you just tampered with a regulated power system tied to emergency services. That's a felony. Karen's mouth fell open. A felony? I was just helping. The utility worker knelt by the box, examining the mess. She cut through the feed line. We'll need to report this to state infrastructure management. Karen tried to backpedal. I was authorized. I'm with the HOA. The first deputy chuckled. Ma'am, your HOA doesn't have jurisdiction over state property, or anyone else's, for that matter. She pointed at me. He's lying. He's always lying. He's trying to make me look bad. I crossed my arms. You're doing that all by yourself. The deputy sighed. Ma'am, please step over here while we take your statement. She tried to resist, and in true Karen fashion, demanded to call the regional HOA director. But within minutes, she was sitting in the back of the patrol car, muttering about electrical conspiracies. By dawn, power crews had repaired the lines and restored service. The deputies gave me the official report: criminal mischief, property damage, and interference with emergency systems. 3 weeks later, I got a letter from the district court. Karen W. has been charged with tampering with critical infrastructure and trespassing on private property. Turns out she'd done this before to 2 other ranches. Her community service excuse didn't fly this time. She ended up with a hefty fine, a restraining order, and a lifetime ban from holding any HOA position. As for me, I built a reinforced power shed with motion sensors, steel fencing, and cameras that notify me instantly if someone so much as looks at the power lines funny. Now, every time I turn on my porch light, I smile, because that glow means one thing. Karen's HOA empire has officially lost its power. High voltage house with garden.